Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Cami and Karen Go Keto, where Cami and I are keeping you informed about our transition from a standard American diet to a ketogenic slash carnivore diet lifestyle, basically lifestyle, because we know this transition is a permanent thing. And today we're talking about how to make it permanent, basically how to change habits, I think is what we were kind of calling this topic. And I'll start out by saying that I have um, done a lot of soul searching about whether or not to change one of my habits, which is eating breakfast out. But let's hear from Cami first, and then we'll dive more into detail.
Okay, hello everybody. It's really good to be here. I am sharing today about just being consistent in your life when you're trying to work on getting new habits going. I've been through, I'm having such good success right now with my ketosis and really starting to move into some ketosis. And it's been a long time coming. It has taken me lots of different I've gone down lots of different roads and had to back myself up and go down a different road, then back myself up and go down a different road. And there's lots of things involved, which is what makes it so difficult for me. There's the emotional part of it and having to work so much on loving and respecting myself and treating myself in a good way. And there's been the addiction part for me and overcoming things where it's been really hard for me to not do it, like eat sweets and binge on sweets and ultra processed foods. And there's been a spiritual part for me, like keeping close to a higher power and really tapping in on the strength of that. So there's been, and then I got a really great food sponsor who's been helping me on the daily with the food plan. And I've been weighing and measuring everything and really taking the time to take good care of me. And I'm so grateful that I have the time to do that now because I worked so hard for so many years taking care of everybody else and doing a pretty good job of it, but just never really taking good care of me. So I just want to encourage you to be consistent and to be persistent because it will happen. It will come where you can do this. You just have to give it everything you've got and keep going as best as you can with the time that you have, because I know that everybody is so pressed for time to do other things.
So, how have you been doing, Cami, as far as keeping a food journal and a food and creating a food plan?
So the night before I go to eat the next day, I write down what I'm going to eat. I look at the macros. I look at the fat and the protein and the carbs. I make sure that I have it in my refrigerator. I just ran out of steak. So today I'm going to go shopping with my girlfriend to pick up some steak. I'm keeping my food very simple for now. I only have, 6 or 8 things that I'm eating, and that makes it easier to make my plans. And I have a list that I'm creating that of all the foods that I'm eating that has the protein and the fat and the carbs in it, so that when I go to put it on my food plan, I can just look at my list and put those over onto my food plan to make it easy and simple. And I'm weighing and measuring everything. And then the next day, when I go through that food plan, sometimes I'll change things. I'll change the protein or I'll eat something that's not on plan. So I'll go ahead, but I'll weigh and measure it. Like for instance, heavy whipping cream. I whipped some of that up and I was eating that with some blueberries. So I would measure a quarter cup of blueberries and a third or half a cup of the whipping cream. It was usually half a cup. And I was eating that. And so, but I would put it on my food plan, my food diary for the next day. And I would put the protein, fat, and carbs in there. And then at the end of the day, I add up all my protein, fat, and carbs, and I do my ketones in the afternoon to see what's going on with those.
But have you been doing that because your ketones were your ketones 1.1 yesterday also?
No, they were low. They were
Okay.
point 0.6, which I was really kind of surprised. I thought they would be higher. I ate a good day, but I'm not sure what that is because the day before that I ate the honeydew melon and I got it down to point 0.2.
But how about you, because you didn't really answer my question about consistency on your food plan and your food journal, because we've been talking about doing that for a year. And it seems, every time you binge, I always ask you, well, did you have it on your food plan? And you're like, well, no. And then I would ask you, did you send the pictures of your food to Jeff? And you're like, no, but I'm going to, right? So like, but it seems like now with your new coach, you're more accountable. Something is working differently. Is that
Yes,
correct? Is that a correct statement?
yes, that is correct. And having somebody that I'm accountable to who um, is really understands. She's been, at a normal healthy weight for 25 years with no sugar, flour, or wheat. And she's been very consistent. And she still weighs and measures her food, which I kind of found surprising. But then I thought, well, maybe that's something I'm going to have to do. I think acceptance came too, like just realizing that I have to spend a lot of time, energy, and effort on just taking good care of myself. And for a long time, I really fought that because I was like, okay, I just want to be able to take care of myself so I can go on and do whatever else is going on in my life. It kind of aggravated me that that it wasn't natural for me to take good care of myself. And kind of coming to the acceptance of that, like, I know how to get dressed. I know how to brush my teeth. I know how to cut a baby out of somebody safely in 40 seconds if they're asleep. But, I can't figure out
And
how
wait,
to.
when Cami says asleep, she means when they're anesthetized, not actually sleeping.
Yes,
She does
yes.
not go around cutting babies out of people who are sleeping.
No, that would be a terrible horror movie.
It
No,
would.
when they're in the OR, asleep in the OR under some good drugs. Because I actually had the unfortunate experience of trying to get a baby out of somebody who was not asleep, and that was very difficult because local anesthesia doesn't work very well for that. With her
I
permission, by the
imagine. Yeah.
way. Anyway, so yeah, it's been really kind of humbling for me to realize that I really had to step back and go, gosh, I really do not know how to take good care of myself. And I can't pretend anymore. I can't just fudge my way through it. I have to start at ground zero. And the other thing that really helped me was moving into a condo that I own. And because when I was in my apartment, I always felt like I was in a temporary holding pattern because I wanted to try to own something in Southern California, you know, that was decent by myself and, on my disability insurance for my shoulder. So it was kind of tricky to pull it off. But the feeling of being settled has really helped me feel grounded. And so, I just encourage everybody to look at their life and what's going on around you and to pay attention to how it's making you feel. Because we move at such a fast paced world, we don't sit still and quiet enough to really realize what's going on and happening in our lives and how it's affecting us.
Well, I think um, one of the things that I'm hearing, the acceptance word is coming up a lot in the conversation, which is I think crucial, right? And Cami and I have been doing this channel for about a year, and I think that one of the things that I'd like to get across is that your why matters, your why you want to transition to a ketogenic lifestyle or carnivore lifestyle. It may change, but it does matter that it's a strong why. And until you have that strong why, it might be, a struggle. And I think we've both found that, right? And then when we find, and maybe it's just the time, maybe it's just the year, because we've had a year of transitioning, it's finally come to a point where a lot of pretense has fallen away. Maybe the acceptance is something that's come about, it's just a gradual thing that, oh, I get acceptance is me. My why is wanting and acknowledging that I can be healthy. And what's interesting, Cami, how old is your mother?
93.
So your mom is 93. Let's just assume you're going to live at least as long as your mom. So you're going to live for 93 to 93. That's 33 years from now, right? 32 years from now. If your new coach has been weighing and measuring for 25 years and been, maintaining this weight, don't think that this is not something that you can't do, right? If you got the time. And if you don't have the time, right, do it for 10 years and then you die. It's like we don't have to have a set time for doing it. We do it until we don't have to do it anymore because we get the same results without having to do it.
Right. And the way that I thought about it and that I made the decision that it wasn't any big deal to weigh and measure my food forever is that she said, well, if I eat a half a cup of yogurt, I want to know that I ate a half a cup of yogurt. And I thought, that's true, because you don't want to jip yourself of any yogurt, right? But you don't want to overeat any yogurt. And then I spend all this time and energy and effort going, well, is this right? Is this about right? Is it too much? Oh, I don't want to jip myself of a couple of bites of yogurt. Oh, I don't want to have too much. And just all that noise that goes on in your head, where by the time you just threw it in a cup, threw it in a bowl, and knew what it was, you would be done with it. And so I just
Yeah,
made
I
a
think
decision that that's what I'll do.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like to do the eating out, because besides the social aspect of it, I there's comfort for me and freedom knowing that I go to the same place and have the same thing, right? Because then there is no noise around anything else and I can focus on the other things that are important to me during that time. And I think that's critical, cutting down the noise that distracts you from attaining the goals that you have set.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what this video is about, because with time you learn how to subdue the noise. How you were saying it takes, we've been doing this for a year, and I think with time a lot of noise has gone away by being
Yeah.
consistent and persistent in what we're doing. And we're not perfect, and we're stumbling, and we go forward and back and forward and back, but we're heading forward into the new lifestyle. And I'm just so delighted that, with this last push that I've had to really be dedicated to it, it's happening.
Yeah.
Fat is
Yeah.
going to finally leave.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for watching and just catch us on the next one. Like, subscribe, press the like button, the subscribe button. We love
All
having
right,
you
everybody,
watch
take
us. We
care.
appreciate it.
Bye.